it's me, JC, back with another Ceramic Hour live stream. We're still working on our like hanging wall shelf. I don't really know what to call it. So this is what we're working on. Yeah, actually let me like stand it up and kind of take a look. I think we might have some wonky area. It looks a little weird over here. I have no idea how this is gonna turn out. I don't know if I don't really feel that confident that it's going to like survive to glaze firing, but we're going to see. Sorry, let me my camera, I don't know, my new holder is a little bit limited on like how I can move it. Well, let me kind of take a look. I don't know if this is level or not. I feel like this side is like lower. It's gonna really bother me if this side's not lower. Or maybe, I don't know, maybe it's fine. Okay, so what we're still going to be working on is just you can see like over here and here and here, we added a bit of like kind of chunky clay to just kind of like really round out these corners. They're not like finished. I think I want to kind of I don't know, maybe like push some more clay in here and like just kind of fix it up. But all of the points where we have walls touching walls, so like this corner, all of these corners and stuff, I want to add like this chunk of clay there to round those out. And then we rounded out where the walls touch the backing. We did all of that. And then after that, I don't know, I think after that we would just need to kind of like polish it off. Obviously right here, I did some slipping and scoring, so there are like some marks and I just hit it over here. So other than that, I think that's what we have to do here. But isn't it kind of cute? I can really like picture this like on my wall, like holding a few things. So we're just gonna see how far we can go with it. I don't know, like some of the points, especially like over here, and then like I think this connection here, we had some, it's like pulling away from this wall. So I don't know if we're going to have any cracking, but maybe this clay that we're putting into the corners will help. I'm not really sure. So yeah, let me get some clay from over like off to the side here. Let me see, how much should I get? Maybe like this. I don't know. That's like a bit much for right now. Okay. And I'm just gonna like wet my sponge. And maybe just like, this clay is kind of it's just been like sitting like wrapped in some plastic, so it's not like kind of like fresh out of the bag clay. It's a tiny bit drier than that. I don't know. Maybe like half of this we can roll out. We're kind of just like rolling them into little coils. Okay, I don't know if I'm supposed to wedge this, but let's wedge it. I've been having so many problems with slab building. I feel like we need to like do all the precautions. Oh no, wait. Are we still going? Yeah, I think so. I don't know why my other screen says that there's an issue. Okay, I don't know. All right, so I'm just gonna like wedge this. Let me add some more water. Okay, I don't really know. That might be good. I'm not sure. Okay, now let me just kind of like smush it around. Interesting. On my laptop, it said there's a browser error, but on my phone it says it's recording. So I hope we're recording. I don't know. Okay, I'm gonna roll this out to a cylinder so then we can kind of cut it at an even shape. Or like, I don't know, kind of like cut it in half evenly. Okay. All right, and then, I don't know. I don't know if this is like ruining the wedging, like the compression and the wedging that we did. Hopefully not. Okay, let me kind of like move this out so I can do like this. And then I think the coils that we had yesterday were just a little bit thinner than this. I hate when it like goes flat when I'm trying to like roll these out. Okay. I don't really like the look of over here. I don't know what is going on there, so I'm just like going to cut that off. Same on the other side. I don't know. I don't like how it's looking. I'm gonna throw this over here and like spray it with some water so it doesn't dry out. And then let's do the wall over here. I'm not sure. I think this is maybe about how much I smushed into these. I think, I'm not really sure. Okay. Let's cut with the sharp part of the knife. I'm not sure, but I think this other knife I have is like, it's like double-sided, but kind of not also. It's kind of weird. Okay, where's that stabby thing? Okay, so we're gonna slip and score this. I don't know if this part is necessary. I'm not really a slab builder. This is not a tutorial and I don't know what I'm doing. We're just hoping for the best. And I'm just doing all the things to hopefully get this to work. Okay, so we're gonna score this. Just rough it up a bit. Okay. Add some water. Oops. Do. I'm not sure, but I might cancel the stream next Friday, so that's April 5th. I might cancel that one. I'm gonna take the day off, and I'm not sure if I don't know if I'm gonna be like around to do a stream or not. Usually I don't do a stream if I take the day off, but I'm not sure. I'll put up a banner on the channel. Hopefully like the day before, or maybe like day of, on what I decide, like if I decide to cancel it. Work has been like insane. So I just need to take some me time. And I took next Friday off. I took off a few more days. There's like one day for the next few weeks that I took off. I don't really like taking like days like consecutively off. At least for like just random I don't know. Random things. I kind of like, I don't know. I think I kind of would prefer like spreading it out a little bit. Maybe. I mean, I'm not totally opposed to like taking days off like consecutively, but like, I think it just makes me feel a little bit better, like for my workload and stuff. And like, if I'm not there, like somebody needs to like look at my inbox and take care of it. But it's like not so bad if it's just like for one day that week or something. And I don't know, like just having like some shorter weeks is nice. But so many people have been like offline because they're on vacation, and it's left me like the only senior online. We had a lead gone on this past Monday. So Monday it was me and one other person doing the work of like 6 people. And oh my gosh, it was a lot. It's a lot. So let me see. Okay, I think I'm gonna do this one next. So I'm just like, everybody's gonna be back next week. So so I'm not so worried about that. It's gonna be fine. But I'm just like, I do need to kind of like decompress. This is like the most stressed I've been like in a long time. In a long time. Oh my gosh. So I'm just like, I need to take some days. These walls are they're pretty dry. So I think I might rub some water around. Doop 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 doop. Doop 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 doop. Here we go. So I think like after I push this one in, I'm gonna rub some water around on the walls. You know, I'm kind of wondering if maybe I should have like squished it into like a triangular shape so that it goes into the corner. I guess I'm not really sure if it's going into the corner or not. Oh. Let's like hope. My main concern is anything that is just not like compressed enough, like, and that starts cracking because of that. That's where my main concern is for like any part of this. Yeah, so what is it? So next Friday's stream is gonna be canceled April, or I think it might be, I'm not sure. And then the next day is April 9th. Totally random. And then the 18th. Queso has his appointment on the 18th, and we have to drop him off, and then we have to go pick him up later after his surgery. So I'm like, I don't know. Everybody at work is encouraging me to take some time off, so I'm like, how about the day that I have to drop him off and then go back to pick him up? Probably a good idea. Okay. I guess I can like squirt this. It's probably just faster, but I don't know. I think if you rub it in, I kind of feel like it's better. I don't know. Okay. Oh wait, I didn't do this part. And I don't know, I just kind of like don't really like how the water just goes everywhere. That's why I don't always use the water bottle because of that. Like, I don't know, I just don't want like certain parts to get like way too much water or something, and then it's just like on the bottom of this, it could just like build up there, and I don't know. That noise. Do 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 do. Oh, today is looking like such a nice day. I could just go outside for a walk or something. Let me see, did I get this one? Okay, I think I did. You know what I found? I think it's really weird and really interesting I found this lady. I did see a book at the bookstore for it, and I was like, okay. But there's this thing. I literally did not do like any research, so I don't really know like the whole like process and stuff, or like exactly what's happening, but I found this like jewelry making technique that supposedly they call it like metal clay or something. And it's like you have these like bits of like metal, and I don't know, it's like kind of it's like suspended-ish, like in this like, I don't know, mixture of stuff. I don't know what the stuff is. I don't think it's clay. I have no idea. It looks like clay though. That's what it looks like. Like, it doesn't look like metal. It literally looks like clay. And these like jewelry makers that, you know, do this, they just kind of like shape the clay into like the shape that they want. This girl that I happen to see on my Instagram, she like is doing some cute little trendy stuff, like raviolis and like, I don't know, butter, the stick of butter, and like, you know, just like carving it into this like metal clay, and then you heat it. When I did just like a quick Google search last night, and then I got really distracted. But it says that you can like okay, there are like different, like, you know, there are different metals that you could do it with. I'm pretty sure the person that I watch on Instagram is doing like bronze, I think. But it says that you can do it with like a bunch of different kinds of metals, but then it depends on the metal, like I think how you have to heat it up. One of them, like one of the things listed to heat it up was like using a kiln, or there's like something about like a handheld torch or something. And I don't know, there's like some other thing that it listed too. And I'm like, this is interesting. And then like when you heat it up, all of that other stuff that was in there, the like, what would you call that? Like the filler or whatever? I don't know. Not really filler. But that other stuff, it just burns away. And then you're left with like, you know, whatever you shaped out of the clay. So like, you know, if you shaped like a goose out of it, like that's what you have now. You have a goose made out of, it just looks like it's just made out of metal. And it's really cool. I've literally, I was at Powell's. If you don't know, Powell's is like, I don't know if Powell's is like in other cities, but here in Portland, Powell's, like City of Books, they have like all kinds of like, mostly kind like unusual books. They don't have a lot of books that you would see in like a normal bookstore. They have very, they have a lot of vintage books that are like resold to them, and I don't know, whatever. Just like a lot of interesting ones that you would not normally see. I don't know, I can't talk to like the novel section. But I'm just talking about like art reference books, like going over to the arts and crafts section and checking out like what they have in those aisles. And they do have like very unique titles over there. And I did see one in there because I was looking, I don't know what I was looking for. I think I was just looking for something specific. And I was like, I found like, I don't know, like 2 books there that were talking about metal clay. And I was like, what? And then I like opened it. This was like not that long ago. This was like in the fall or something. And I opened it and I was like, this is interesting. But because Powell, they sell like so many old things, I'm like, is this even something people do anymore? Like, I was getting the feeling that it wasn't. But apparently people do still do this. It's like, it was a technique that was like started in the 90s in Japan. That's what the Wikipedia page that I read about it said. So I would guess that people in Japan probably still do this. They do a lot of like, I think they still do a lot of kind of like old ways of making things. I don't know. I just kind of get that sense. Oh, this is actually a bit thinner than, that's fine. But I don't know. I kind of want to look into it because wouldn't that be kind of cool? It's like if I did that, like if I started doing that, my shop would probably look really confusing because like there would be like literal like, you know, like actual ceramics, but then there would be like for whatever random reason like metal jewelry. But if you looked at the making process, this would be so confusing. This would be so confusing for like anybody that would look at my Instagram, because the Instagram would show like the in progress of me like making some, you know, like necklace pendant out of the metal clay, but then they would think it's normal clay, but then when it's fired, it's like metal, and everybody would probably be like, what is going on? They would just be like, I mean, in the first place, I don't think people know that this is even a thing that people do, like a making process that even exists. So there's that, but then also just like the entire confusion that that I work with like regular clay and then metal clay. I don't know. It's just, it's interesting. I think it's really interesting. So definitely, I don't know. I think it's kind of fun to check out. Like, I don't know. I mean, I feel like I am like pretty like I feel like I'm pretty deep like in the art community. Like as a general sense, there are a lot of like things that I don't know. Like I don't know like famous potters of any era. Or like ceramist. I don't know what you want to say. I feel like ceramist is like the word to use for like anyone, but I don't know. I think a lot of people say a lot of different words, different things. I'll just go with that. Like, I don't know anybody famous in ceramics, except like the Leach family. But other than that, I really don't know. But like I feel like I know like a good amount. Like I think like the average amount, I do feel like this metal clay thing is like pretty niche. Like, I'm aware that there's like a decent amount of people right now doing like stained glass work. I feel like that is a really old thing that is becoming like fairly popular right now. Like, I don't know, something like that. I think would be something that not a lot of people would know is kind of trending right now. Or like, I don't know. I mean, there's so many like techniques and stuff that you could do to like make things. There could definitely be a lot of people making this type of jewelry, and like I wouldn't even know it unless I actually saw like that kind of like before and after part of the video, because that's what I'm seeing like on Instagram is this lady's like, she literally like in her like reels or whatever is like, this looks like clay but it's not, and she's like, this is what it's gonna look like when it's done. No, she's not. She doesn't talk like that, but I'm just that's literally every time I'm on Instagram I see one of her reels and it's like saying something like that in the reels. Okay, I'm not trying to be mean. But it's really like, it's very obvious where like if you just had like a video of her like sculpting the stuff, you would have no idea. It literally does look like regular clay. Like color wise, it does look like, I don't know, there's a slight difference in, I think, kind of like the texture. It doesn't seem like, at least from the few videos I've seen, I literally have not been following her for very long, but like how when we rolled this out it starts cracking, I don't think that clay does that, but I'm not really sure. I don't know, it's just so weird. And I'm just like, I want to like, I don't know, I'm so distracted. I'm going all over the place. But I really want to just kind of like see if I can find like YouTube videos or something on it, or like read some more about like the process and like, I don't know, just kind of like check it out. It's just, I don't know, I think it's really interesting. And I do kind of like the idea of like making jewelry. I literally have some pieces next to me that have been bisqued, that are like necklace pendants, but I need to like underglaze them and stuff. I don't know. There's a lot I need to underglaze that has just not happened. And today, later today, I'm gonna go to the studio and pick up even more bisque. We have so much. There's so much. What was it? It was so long ago. I don't even know. I think it was like before Christmas. I got all this stuff bisqued and I picked it up. Like, I think it was from then. I still haven't finished like glazing and underglazing the stuff. There's so much here that needs to be bisqued. Oh my gosh. No, it is bisque. It needs to be decorated, yeah. But the reason it hasn't been decorated is because a lot of this stuff I want to do like underglaze on it, and I don't know, I just it kind of stops me in my tracks, because then I'm like, I'll have an idea of what I want to do, and then I like actually like drawing it out on the piece. I don't know, it's just kind of like intimidating, or just even, drawing out what the design is going to be like on paper or something. I don't know. I'm just I just need to sit down and do it. And I think that I'm gonna do that over the weekend, like do some of this stuff. Some of it doesn't even need to be planned out. But then there's like also like underglazed pieces that I'm just like really worried about and I don't want to mess up. Like I have the turtles done. Wait, where was I putting this? I think I was putting it over here. I have the turtles done. They're bisqued, all three of them. They look awesome. They're very thick, so I was worried they hadn't dried enough, even though they literally sat and air dried for like probably a month. I don't know. I was just like, but are they ready? No, they're fine. But there's I don't know what that noise is. But yeah, they air dried for like a month or something. So long. They were sitting for so long. Actually longer than that, because they dried like directly just out, like sitting out for like maybe a month or 3 weeks. But they had been sitting under some plastic, slow drying, even longer than that. Anyway, so like those, like I know exactly what I want to do with them. I want them to be green, but I'm kind of like, I don't know. I could just do one and see how it turns out, because I don't feel like I have a green that is like the color that I want. So I could just kind of like mix up some underglaze and see how it looks. Or maybe I should do like some tests. I don't know. I should just like have test tiles like ready that are like bisqued and like just ready to be used. That's a good idea. So I don't know. I'm just like not sure how to like move forward with the turtles. I really just want to get them done. But I would also like, I would hate myself if I just went for it and did whatever mixture I felt was right for the color, and then they got glazed and then the color wasn't right on all three of them. I would hate that. That would like haunt me. I'd be really upset. But I'm also just really excited to like actually have them done and like see them finished too. Or maybe not, because they've been sitting for like 6 months or something. I don't know. Okay, we need to do this corner, but we also need to make sure we're not covering up the hole here where it's going to hang the piece. Okay. I think this weekend I'm going to do like something. I'm going to do like some like glazing, or maybe just like make myself do some underglazing. I'm just like, I don't know. I'm not really sure what the word is. Like, I guess kind of like intimidated, or definitely overwhelmed. Definitely overwhelmed. There are pieces over here that are ready to go. So there's that. I have like the pencil drawings on them of like where the underglaze is gonna go. And all I need to do is apply it, and like I already know, at least for some of them, what the colors are going to be. Just kind of matching some other things that I've made. So there are things that I could definitely just sit down and start working on. And I don't know, I should do more of that. Just kind of like, I don't want to get bored with what I'm making and just like making the same thing all the time. But it is like kind of nice though that I know like exactly, like I don't even have to think about it. I already know like what colors I'm going to use on the things because I'm basically like remaking things that I've done before. So at least, I don't know, it's kind of takes a little bit of weight off my shoulders. I'm not sure if I'm gonna make the the nail hole any bigger, but I might. Okay. All right, so yeah, actually the last one is just this one. I'm gonna roll this one out so it's like the same. So it's like the same diameter or whatever. I don't, it's being weird. I don't like how it's like doing that on the ends, but that's okay. We can, like, we're not gonna use like the whole thing. So I guess let me just like slip and score these. I really just need like the itty bittiest bit to like fit in the corner here. Do. I don't know. I'm kind of itching to do like maybe like a short form video, just like something super short for YouTube, like maybe like this weekend or something. There's like I don't know, I feel like a lot of the videos that I make or like kind of like have planned to make have these scripts that I need to write up, and just kind of like for some of it maybe do a little bit of research just to make sure all the info is right. But I don't know, I've been watching this one YouTuber. She doesn't do art. It's like totally random. But she just has like a few like I don't know, I think they're just kind of like a couple minutes. I think one was like maybe 6 minutes long, where she just kind of like answered like some basic questions, and it didn't need to be this like long answer. I don't know, I'm kind of wondering like how could I do that? I think that'd be kind of fun. I don't know, I just kind of have this idea that usually YouTube videos are around like 15 or 20 minutes long. But I don't know, I wonder if I can kind of just like, I think something like, just like, things for like anyone, like anyone like off the street would want to know about ceramics, I feel like would be kind of cool. I'm trying to like interrogate like Jason because he doesn't do ceramics, like what kind of questions he has about it. And he just says, I don't know. But like something, for example, would be like describing like some of those like terms that you'll see, like, oh, this is like, sometimes ceramics will say that they're food safe, but they're not dinnerware safe. Like, what does that mean? Like, what do you mean that it's not dinnerware safe? And just kind of like explaining that type of thing. Or like, it's kind of annoying, but I totally understand, but it's kind of annoying. Every single time I go to a market, like, obviously I want to see what other ceramic people are making. Like, just because I make ceramics doesn't mean that I'm not gonna buy ceramics. I don't know how other people feel about that. I mean, I feel like other ceramic people would buy ceramics. Or like maybe at least like check out what other people are making. I don't know. I don't, like, if it's really basic, like, I'm not gonna buy it, but if it's like in their own personal style and I just really appreciate it, then I will. Or if it's like some kind of, like, the way that it was made is not something that I would do, is also another reason I would buy someone else's ceramics. So, oh, just kind of like that kind of thing. But every single time, every single time I'm looking at them, they, like, I'm not asking any questions because I don't know, why would I? I know a lot, but they're always like, oh yeah, these are food safe, you can put it in the microwave, and I'm like, yeah, I know, I didn't ask. I'm just like, can you stop talking at me? Like, but I don't know, like, a lot of the time when I'm out, like shopping at a market, like, I don't know, I'm trying to focus. I'm trying to look at the stuff. And then, like, you know, if someone's talking to you, it's like drawing your attention away. I don't know, I'm very introverted when I go to markets or go, like, shopping anywhere. Like, I do not want to talk to the person, like, usually ever. I don't know, that's just how I am. Anyway, they always spew out, like, oh, you can put this in the dishwasher, you can put this in the microwave, and, like, you know, they always, like, say that stuff. And I think, I don't know, I wonder, you know, actually from Jason, I have him do my dishes, and he doesn't know. He can't tell which pieces can go in the dishwasher, even though I've told him, like, so many times. So, I don't know, I think, like, a video that would kind of, like, answer those. I mean, I don't know if normal people have those kind of questions. I feel like they probably do. Or, like, as someone that does ceramics, it is kind of interesting, because, it's, like, if you are kind of, like, in the intro part of doing ceramics, obviously, you know, it goes into a kiln, and it's fired to thousands of degrees, and all of that. But it is interesting, that only certain ceramics can be oven safe. So at least like for like a ceramic person, I think that is interesting. I have no idea if a normal person, like just a regular, I shouldn't say normal person. That's not really like what I mean. But just like, like you don't do ceramics. You don't do that. you don't know the things. Like I don't think you would just take a random bowl or something and put it in the oven. I don't know. I mean, if it looked like a casserole dish, maybe, but yeah. The person that made it should not have made it look like a casserole dish if it can't go in the oven. You know what I mean? So it like you shouldn't like visually code it for that. But I think it is interesting. So the reason, sorry, I should have said this earlier. The reason that you can't just put any ceramics in the oven is because of thermal shock. It has to be made out of a special clay. It can't just be just any old clay. It has to be specifically for like going in the oven afterwards. Because just like if you put a random piece into the oven, if you did a glaze firing and then opened your kiln too early and the kiln was like too hot, I think that's like 200 or above Fahrenheit. Maybe it's 100 or above. I'm not sure. It's one of those, I think. That's too hot to open the kiln, and your pieces risk cracking or just kind of somewhere along the lines of possibly exploding. I think mostly kind of like cracking due to thermal shock. So that's what would happen if you did put it in the oven and then you just open the oven right up. It needs to cool down, and probably if you're cooking something in the oven, you're not gonna wait for the whole entire oven to cool down to take it out, right? Like you're gonna take it out while it's hot, and that's like the idea behind that, which is like, I didn't know that for like kind of a while, but it's kind of interesting. I don't really think that is something that the everyday person would want to know. I mean, I don't know. I think it's worth making a video on for like, just like other ceramic people. We're making so much progress today. We just need to do 2 more corners, and then the corners will be filled. They won't be done, but they'll be filled. Like, I do need to like go about and like smooth the clay out. Anyway, I'm thinking maybe this weekend I'll be able to maybe like think of like some short form kind of videos to put on YouTube. I'm really itching to like put a non-live stream video on the YouTube. Just to, I don't know, like I want to like provide more things than the live stream, of course. The live stream is great, and obviously I'm getting like I mean almost a video every day to upload to YouTube, which is like really cool. But I don't know, I do want to like put out some more other content, and I just think like something that's like shorter and less intimidating would be a really good idea. Just kind of, I don't know, kind of like motivate me, I guess, or something. Because it is kind of, it's, I don't know, it's kind of just like overwhelming to have to think about like writing a whole script, and then like how am I gonna like, what am I gonna do for filming? I kind of, I don't know, I am kind of leaning back towards like being on screen. It takes so long. It takes so long to do those videos. It like versus like a PowerPoint like thing. Because like sometimes when you're looking at the camera, you just kind of like are like, oh my gosh, I'm looking at the camera and what was I supposed to be saying? And like, I don't know. It's just ow. And I don't know, it's, or I just like trail off with like something and I don't know, whatever, like. And then there's like a bunch of takes. I'm getting a little bit better at like takes, because if I didn't like it, I'm just gonna delete the whole thing and then do like either segmented takes or just like one long thing. Whereas like earlier I would like keep all the takes and then I would just have no idea which one to use for the actual video, and then that was overwhelming. And oh my gosh, so many things. It's not easy like making like a full video, or at least like that's what I'm doing. I don't have like editors or like a video person that's dedicated to doing that or anything. But ow, that really hurt when I stabbed my finger. It's not bleeding, but it hurts. So, I don't know. I don't even know the last time I put a video up on YouTube that wasn't the live stream. It must have been, no, I know it was definitely one of those tutorial videos. I'm not entirely sure where to go with like the next tutorial, because I kind of like get the feeling that I'm not that great at like slab building or coil building, and I don't want to be like trying to make a tutorial on something that I do not know about. Like, we've had too many issues with those. So otherwise we did do there's a video for like the paint palette, how to make a slab built paint palette, how to make a pinch pot, how to make a small slab built plate. I think that's it. Again, I don't have wheel throwing on there yet. I don't feel confident in doing a video on that yet. I could do a video that's like all of those slabs that we've done with like my little, the little cutout template. I don't know, like, I don't know why anybody would be like interested in these videos, because I feel like I don't know, I just don't feel like you need someone to show you how to do it. I don't know, I'm not sure, okay? But like that's kind of like how I feel about like the paint palette video, because it's like I rolled out a slab and then I cut into the slab, and I don't know, I feel like I need to be doing something more like complex or something for the tutorials, but like it has a lot of views on it. So I'm like, I guess people like it. Like, I don't know. I'm just so I think that would be a good next step, is like using like the templates, because that I feel so confident in doing those. We've done so many on the stream and they're turning out great. Unlike the other kind of more 3D slabs that we've done on the stream, those kind of slab trinket dishes they're not cracking, you know? And it is a really fun way to get something really whimsical with your work. I think a lot of people would immediately kind of think of like fully sculpting like a bit of clay to get something whimsical, like shaping it into like a duck or something, or just doing it in underglaze, you know? But like right off the bat, you can get something fun, like, and then like kind of like color it in later with underglaze, after it's like shaped and stuff. So I don't know, I do think that'd be a fun video. I don't know, I'm just gonna, I guess, I'm just gonna make some really basic videos, and then, I don't know, just until I get more comfortable with stuff like this, then you know, if we make things like this, that is like actually, you know, slab built and there's like no issues with it, I feel confident doing it, then I'll make a tutorial. But I literally don't know how this thing is gonna turn out. I have high hopes because I really like it. Like, the more I pull this out for the video, I like it like even more. And I'm like really excited for it, but at the same time, I'm trying to keep it in my mind that it might not survive. I'm really hoping it does, because it is kind of fun, and I think it would be really cool to have like a ceramic piece of mine like hanging up on the wall. I think that'd be really fun. Okay, well, this is our stream for the day. We're a little bit over, but that happens. So yeah, if you're watching on Twitch, thank you so much for tuning in and watching the video. Be sure to follow along so you know when I come on for another stream. I will be back on Monday, April 1st, for our next video. And yeah, streams are normally Monday through Friday from 1 to 2 p.m. Pacific time. And then all the videos are uploaded to my YouTube at Callie & Co. There, again, you can find our whole live stream playlist that you could just start and then just work on something or do some chores or whatever. And then, again, there are a few tutorials there, and actually there are a few other videos on my Twitch, or no, not my Twitch, my YouTube, that are kind of like for small handmade businesses, and then some that are kind of just like general for like any artist, kind of a thing. And yeah, be sure to subscribe to the YouTube and give the video a thumbs up if you liked it. And yeah, well, today is March 29th, so I hope everybody has a great weekend and a happy Easter. Easter's on Sunday. And yeah, I will catch you guys in April. All right, bye.